Oh, come on, camera, focus. Oh my gosh. Hello everybody, welcome to my wrap up for Skoden. Now Skoden is a readathon put on by Native Lady Warrior. I will link her channel below to read indigenous authors, and I read several books this month. The first book is called Crazy Brave, and this is actually a non-fiction book. I decided to include it in Skoden instead of my non-fiction wrap-up. You can see that below. But this book is a memoir by Harjo, who is a poet among other artist forms in the Native American community. She is part of the Creek Nation, and she basically details about how she grew up with domestic abuse from her stepfather and later from her own spouse, and how domestic abuse is actually very prevalent in the Native American community, and it's a cycle that needs to stop. She also talked a lot about how Native Americans, due to being displaced from their land, continue to harbor a lot of anger and resentment, and it comes out in different ways, such as spousal abuse, substance abuse, and even self-harm, and how she herself became a victim of that. I do like how she is very much in touch with nature and her spiritual side, and it definitely shows in her prose. I do like how she pinpoints that when she was 8 years old, her mother gave her a poetry book and how that helped define her life, yet her stepdad, due to domestic violence, almost stamped that out for her. However, when she went to the Institute for American Indian Art, she was able to reclaim that passion for her art form and to become successful because of that. Now, one of the things that really stood out for me in this book is when she talked about how, due to language barriers, the American government sterilized a lot of Native American females due to consent forms that they were unable to read, and how, due to language being such a powerful thing for her, that she was able to read and prevent that for herself. And in fact, one quote that she had in the book that really stood out for me was, "Birth is one of the most sacred acts we take part in and witness in our lives." And I thought that was really beautiful. But a really good memoir, good book to read. Now, another book I read is Empire of Wow. Now, this book is part fantastical, domestic drama, mystery. And to me, it really shows the enduring power of a love of a relationship, as well as a people's connection with the land. So this book follows Joan, who's a Native American in Canada, whose husband goes missing. And one day she is in a Walmart parking lot, and she sees a preacher in one of those traveling ministries that looks like him. Although there's this denial, she really believes that that is her husband. And so she utilizes some mythical creature from her culture in order to try to figure out how to get her husband back. Now, I thought that this book was really, really funny. I enjoyed immensely the banter between the different family members. It was absolutely hilarious, all the insults that they had with each other. I also like the incorporation of Native American culture and even the language inside of the book. Incorporation of historical facts and historical happenings in order to tell how Native American communities are slowly being taken over by outsiders that have something to gain by displacing the community after it's already been victimized and displaced already. Very educational. I also read Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones, who is a riot. Now, Night of the Mannequins is basically about a group of friends who had this mannequin that they used to play with when they were younger. And as they got older, they resurrected it to create some sort of prank on one of their friends at a movie theater. And then one of the friends believes that this mannequin has somehow now come back to life to seek revenge on them for abandoning it. Now, I thought that this book was really funny. I thought it was creepy at times, and I think that the main character needs to get his head checked a bit. I read Stephen Graham Jones a while back and was so not impressed, but I think that this book might actually redeem him for me a bit. I may read some more. He definitely has a definite unique perspective that really leaves you hanging on till the very end. Now, the last book I read is called Moon of the Crusted Snow, and this is a mystery slash dystopian novel of a very rural Canadian Native American community that is cut off from the rest of the world when the electricity and satellites go off. So they have no idea what's going on outside of their community, yet they're prepared to hunker down and get through the winter time. But then this white guy comes up and he seems to just insert himself into the community like he's been there forever. And then people start dying. And so you follow Evan, who is trying to figure out what's going on and if the electricity or whatnot is ever going to come back on. Now, I liked how rural this community is and how they banded together to help one another in a true community fashion. Evan says, as the culture is lost, people lose their ability to survive independently. I thought that was interesting because he says struggle and survival is a tradition with Native Americans. So as culture is lost, people lose the ability to survive independently. And that is so very, very, very true with, I think, American society, if not the greater society as a whole. I really did enjoy Evan's and also some of the other people's connection to the land, and how when he killed an animal, he felt he had to plant tobacco in order to give back to the land that gave him so much. I just thought that was really, really beautiful. Overall, I felt that this was a great book. It was really suspenseful and it kept me interested the entire time. Well, that is all the books that I have for Skoden, and I am prepping for Holiday Havoc-a-thon. I hope that you are participating. I am also still doing my puzzle journey, the 7 days of calm, definitely not 7 in a row. However, I am on day 2. Stay tuned. So now I got to my last piece right here. Gonna put that right there, and bam, completed puzzle. It says it's through self-love and acceptance that we find peace and happiness in our hearts.